not admitted without parents or guardian.
Baby, welcome fans of fantastic films, and welcome. Blah, 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 blah. It's like I just did a bong hit before I went on the air. We are the Drive-In Asylum double feature, and you are watching two fantastic films with us tonight. Well, hopefully you are. Mantis in Lace and Behind Locked Doors. And aside from my usual partner, Sam Panica, we've got a special guest on this show, AC Nicholas. Once again. So welcome, dudes.
Hey. Hi, Bill. Hi, Sam. Fifth time for me. So I'm glad to be here.
I love that you're counting.
You got your Five Bombers jacket for the event.
Well, nothing says sleazy quite like a smoking jacket and a fez. So I'm good to go for tonight's movies.
Awesome. I am super excited about both movies and glad to be showing them. These probably will not be shown anywhere else, so it's a good double feature.
These two are so weird.
Yeah,
I have to say, like, you know, I had seen Behind Locked Doors before, but I had never seen Mantis in Lace until this week, and wow, I think you guys are really in for a special occasion tonight.
Yeah, and hey, thanks to Mark in the chat for these awesome Harry Novak shirts that he made for Bill and I. So you're getting two Harry Novak features tonight, so we decided to dress up for the occasion.
I prefer my Novak's Harry.
Yeah,
personally.
Harry Novak made a lot of hairy movies.
Yes,
including these two.
This is, and as I think I said before, in my work picture, like you have to have like an icon when you get onto Teams. It's me wearing a Harry Novak shirt. So luckily nobody can read it. So we're good.
To be fair, I don't really know if he made these movies. I mean, I know he distributed them, but usually he just basically stole movies from other people and put them out.
I first discovered him too because when that Something Weird collection came out on DVD of all the trailers, so many of them started with his name being drawn out, and then the movie that followed, whatever followed in the trailers, was all insane. And that's when I started doing research into Harry Novak and hunting down his movies, and it was a very worthwhile time in my life.
Yeah, I think my favorite of all the Harry Novak movies is Toys Are Not for Children.
Oh, really? That's your favorite?
I think
exciting.
So. No, I think so.
Yeah, that movie is one of those ones where are they really going to go this hard? And
they do.
Yeah,
totally.
Although you could say with Behind Locked Doors, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And I would ask people, if you really want to make sure you saw it, get pen and paper and write down all the things that you will see, because it will be a long list.
Yeah, consider this. That movie is going to be therapy for a few folks today.
Oh yeah. Well, either that or it's going to clean out the drive-in at the end of the house or at the end of the end of the show.
Well, there's nothing after it except at my house, which I'll probably watch 10 other things.
I see a lot of the regulars here tonight in the chat. Hi, everybody. There's my friend Robert from Toronto. Did I score that in the Tommy Cooper estate sale? No, not quite. It's called Amazon.
Oh, you bought this costume just for the show?
Of course I did. Why wouldn't I? I've always wanted a smoking jacket, even though I haven't smoked for over a decade, and now I do.
Neither have I.
Yay me.
Now you have to wear it every time you come on and to the drive.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
Man, so where did your first viewing of this? You said was maybe in the VHS era.
Actually, for Behind Locked Doors, it was in the VHS era, and I believe it was on a double feature with Frankenstein's Castle of Freaks.
Wow,
which that made for an interesting evening for sure, because that's such a sick and twisted movie.
Yeah,
we did that on the show. What did we do that with? Andy Warhol's Frankenstein, I think.
Yeah. It was either that or Lady Frankenstein.
Lady Frankenstein.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's sort of a good double bill. Why don't you guys, in case folks missed it at the end of the last show, we had a different second movie, and Sam, you picked it, and I thought it was a great choice. But
yeah, what was the second movie? Now that a week of writing has destroyed my brain, it was
Strange Shadows.
Oh yeah, Strange Shadows in an empty room. Yeah, and which is a movie that is like 10 movies in one. It's like
for sure.
Ecclesiateki, Giallo, shot in Canada, bullet influence chase scene that seemingly goes on through tons of streets, a fight with men dressed as women over a curling iron or involving a curling iron. It's really got it all.
Yeah, and it's just crazy.
Yeah. And it was streaming, and it was out there, and then it was gone. And then it was gone.
That's Tubi. They put them up and take them down.
It's coming out on Blu-ray. Someone else is putting it on. The camera's putting it on. I was thinking that's probably why. I think Synapse is.
Yeah, and I didn't see Mantis in Lace until it hit, I think, Image. It had one of those cardboard covered special edition DVDs.
Oh yeah,
really love Mantis in Lace too.
I saw Behind Locked Doors on VHS. I think I rented it from Bruce, an incredibly strange video.
Oh, wow.
He had a lot of something weird stuff there. But this one, like I said, I hadn't seen it until this week, and I was just kind of stunned by how it's kind of like, it's not quite Vampiros Lesbos, but
not quite.
I mean, it's nothing like Vampiro, other than it's just a bunch of stuff. And that's how I feel about Vampiros Lesbos. It's kind of like just all this stuff, and there's music playing and everything. There's a lot of that in this movie, and it's kind of
a lot of Jess Franco is just that. It's like there's a general idea of what it could be about, and then just music and stuff happens.
It's groovy. It's totally groovy.
It sure is. And when you see Mantis in Lace tonight, you'll never get the theme song out of your mind.
No.
Ever.
That's another thing I love about this movie, is it has a theme song.
Yeah, it does. It has the alternate title, Lila.
That's what I first saw it under, was the Lila title.
In fact, I think we're going to see it tonight on YouTube under the Lila title.
Someone actually gave me a DVD of this. That's where I first saw it. It was an estate sale, and they just had like 20 DVDs stacked up, and they just said, well, a couple of them looked like stuff you'd like, and it ended up being in that list of movies. So some Dead Pervert's Lost is my gain.
It was one of those kind of estate sales,
exactly.
Right? Kind of like out of the movie 8mm.
Yeah.
You know, I found this in my late husband's safe.
That's how I found that whole sale of Joan Collins movies for a quarter at the AmVets, which is like still one of the best days of my life. It's like, who would sell Homework for? I literally yelled out loud. I was like, what? I got The Stud, The Bitch, Homework, and They're Playing with Fire, the Simple Danny movie, for $1 on DVD. That's prime days right there. So the star of this movie is Susan Stewart, who has two of my favorite. I love when people have an IMDb that is like alpha and omega. Her alpha is she was in the first nudie musical, and her omega is she did voices on Scooby-Doo. So it's kind of like she's kind of like in between these two worlds.
Yeah, I saw that, and it just blew my mind and made my heart sing that she basically was,
wild,
polar opposites there. You know, the first nudie musical was kind of like The Creature wasn't nice. It was directed by the same guy, and
Oh yeah.
that thing's not streaming anywhere. I wish it were, because Bill, I was going to write an article on it for the 1981 yearbook edition of Driving Asylum, but couldn't find it online to refresh my recollection. So
It's actually shocking how it's not out there anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems like something that should be released as like a Blu-ray or something.
yeah, you would think if Mantis in Lace can get like a special edition with extra footage, and
Yeah.
at least my copy of it, I haven't seen it in a while, has all kind of alternate takes and alternate scenes. And
I love that Tracy said that she found Mantis in Lace on a random Roku channel called Halloween Movies.
yeah, it's on there. It is.
The guys that do the Canon podcast always talk about, there's a few of these channels like the Blue Mermaid and stuff where it's like when you start the channel, there's just a woman dancing on them, and he's like, that's when my wife comes in every time. And he's like, I'm not watching this channel for this woman. There's just a spaghetti western movie that I can't find anywhere else, and it just happens to be on this Eastern European Roku channel. She's like, of course that's why. This one is on a channel for Halloween movies, and it is disreputable, so it's the opposite effect.
Well, yeah, it's really disreputable, and I mean, it's part of an era that has come and gone. It wasn't all that long-lived, but it moved on to other things. I figured tonight was a good night we could talk about these kind of movies, since we've never shown them on Driving Asylum.
Well, I think too, it's funny that when you go back and watch a lot of movies from, this is from 68, but like especially early 60s movies that were like really like got busted a lot, and you see them today and you're like, this could probably play on regular TV. Do you know what I mean? Like there's like Nude on the Moon and a few of these movies like that. The titles are great, but they're not, they're not going to like knock your doors off. But that's also because you have the internet now and everybody's scum. So
well, that's kind of how it started back in the early 60s with the so-called nudie cuties. Like you said, Sam, like Monster at Camp Sunshine or whatever that is, Nude on the Moon. A lot of volleyball games in those early
Who did volleyball that often? My favorite title of those is Blaze Starko's Nudist, because it's like, we're gonna be with her for the whole journey. And Bill brought up Nude on the Moon almost immediately. A movie made in Coral Castle, a place made with magic. So a favorite of mine.
Definitely. Nude on the Moon. Look at that.
Man, people went, cool it, baby.
Yeah, they always have good taglines. Our movies tonight have good taglines. What do we have
I cut
here?
this one because of The Beast That Killed Women. We were talking about nudie cuties.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
That qualifies as a nudie cutie, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Absolutely.
I'm not an expert in the genre or anything. So.
No, it absolutely does. Because what year would this be from, Bill? Do you know?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
I'll
tell you in just a second.
I wish Cool It Baby would play with Cool It Carol. That would be my ultimate double feature.
That's an alternate title. There's another title for that movie.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. This ad is from 1968, Atlantic City.
Okay. So we actually, a lot of these movies are much older.
Yeah.
I also like that in Atlantic City you spell burlesque with a K.
Yeah. Burlesque.
We had that here in Pittsburgh too. It must have been a thing for porn theaters. It sounds better than saying porn.
Yeah, Al Baker Jr.'s burlesque.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's
what it says right there. What's crazy about Pittsburgh burlesque is that Sammy, what's his name, from Meet a Brooklyn Gorilla, moved here and was a host at the Edison for a long time.
Who's Sammy Petrillo?
Petrillo, yeah.
Oh, now Bill got some of my favorites coming up.
Oh, here. Some Finleys.
Yeah.
Finley. Okay,
this was the series of The Touch of Her Flesh. The Finleys.
Yes, indeed. So when the nudie cuties kind of ran their course because everybody was bored of watching nude volleyball games, the people who made those films wanted to do something different. So they added kind of hardcore violence and sadism and really cheap thrills to their nudie cuties. And they came up with roughies. And the most famous of the roughy trilogies, right here, The Touch of Her Flesh.
Also with Beach Blanket Bingo.
Yeah, it's playing with a G-rated movie.
How about that?
Yeah,
Michael Finley directed it, starred in it, and wrote it. And his wife, Roberta Finley, who became a director later, is also in it. And I
Her
think she
voice
was
is all over it too. Yeah.
yeah, I think she was the camera person for the movie too. But
Yeah.
I love those. And then here's the second one, I believe, The Kiss of Her Flesh. You guys have seen those, I guess, right?
I have not.
No, that's
Oh.
all virgin territory for me.
Well, okay, I will just tell you, I can summarize these. All three movies have exactly the same plot in a way. In the first one, Michael Finley is playing a guy named Jennings. Jennings is married to a beautiful woman. One day he goes off on a business trip, leaving her at home. He forgets something, comes back, finds her in bed with her lover. Distraught, he runs out into the street and is hit by a bus, losing an eye and winding up in a chair. Then he decides, in his voiceover narration, he must kill the Jezebels for.
Oh, oh, Puritans. What are you
Oh.
going to do with them?
Art theaters. That's go to the art theater. Wow. Ohio Follies. Where was that at, Bill? What city in Ohio was that in?
I knew you were going to ask me.
Oh,
So.
I'm sorry. I won't ask questions. I'll just enjoy. Don't ask questions. Just enjoy. These
No,
movies
this is-
start at 11:30 a.m. So get there early and just watch them all day.
I think we lost AC.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't know. Oh wait, here we go. I think he's back.
I'm back. I'll be back in a second.
man.
I don't know what's wrong with my connection tonight, but anyway, here we go. Paul in the chat says Ravager is probably the last and roughest of the roughies. I don't know if Ravager's the roughest, but yeah, probably the last. I mean,
There's the
some
Olga
of these
movies too, which I know Bill enjoys very
Well,
much.
they're
yeah,
coming
the Olga,
up.
they're coming up, the Olga movies, because that's the other trilogy
Yeah.
that was considered the Ruffy trilogy.
Oh wow.
But this is Ohio Follies. Wow, look at that.
11 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Okay, then here's Touch of Her Lips.
Wow. I love that type design. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's like Laugh-In or something.
Thanks,
right?
Steve.
Thank you.
Steve reports that this was in Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio.
Thanks,
Wow.
Steve.
And this is
Yeah.
some more burlesque with a K with air conditioning.
And there's the first Olga film. Now, Olga had an actress by the name of Audrey Campbell, and she played this really tough Ilsa-like character. In fact, I think the Olga series was basically the inspiration for the Ilsa series, where you have the sort of brutal woman across a trilogy. Well,
Bill, this whole ad is beautiful.
What's the curse of her flesh?
that's the third one with Jennings killing women, and because they're
Okay.
Jezebels. Yeah,
This is
that's
gorgeous with the hand done kind of Art Deco thing happening, and
Mhm.
the stars look like
Yeah.
fill-in tattoo art. Like there's so much going on. In
It's
this ad.
literally the star that your teacher would make on your test when you got a good grade.
Yeah,
yeah.
but even the shape of the font. Oh, now we're getting into Virginia Bell in person.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, she's in.
36 Hours of Terror.
Yeah, look at that.
Olga was so mean.
Yeah, Olga's really mean, and again, typical of these roughies, they're actually very well filmed. I mean, the Of Her Flesh trilogy has a tremendous look to it, very stark black and white. At least the remastered version that Image did that I have. It's my favorite DVD in my collection because it's out of print and going for a lot of money. Look at this. Here's another Olga movie.
Her medieval methods of enslavement. And I have
yeah.
to say, when we say that these movies feature violence and torture and everything, none of it is convincing.
Yeah.
It is
Not a split
convincing.
second. No.
It's not convincingly portrayed. It's just people pretending to be stabbed, and there's she touches one person with a hot iron, and there's just like a little mark on her breast, and like another one. It's just nothing. Nothing is really happening. It's all about boobs, 100%.
Becca reminds me that she just wrote in the chat that Olga's Kitchen is a really popular place to eat in Detroit, but probably a different Olga.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
The kitchen, Olga doesn't have a whip.
Yeah.
There's Olga the landlady in Suspiria.
Yeah.
They say you have
there
to pay
is.
me $50 a week in advance.
see. We got Olga's Girls, and we have.
She's mean too. That Olga's mean too in Suspiria.
Yeah, and I like that this is a Freudian Mondo Cane. Like, okay, like you're just saying words. I don't know if you know what they mean to bully theater.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with Mondo Cane.
Yeah,
No.
I like not so symbolism. It's just realism. Like we're not going to get fancy. The O in Olga's Girls here, Bill, really needs to be used somewhere at some point.
I don't know what to tell you, Vince. Vince says he's having trouble with Facebook. I'm on the Facebook one, and it seems like everybody else is too.
Yeah, I'm watching it too, and Becca is outside.
So I think that's just whatever device you're using, maybe.
This whole ad is wonderful. Oh man,
Olga's Dance Hall Girls.
Dance Hall Days was inspired by this.
She was so in phase.
Yeah.
And then the third one was the White Slaves of Chinatown, which I know, Sam, you always recommend their YouTube channel because they have the weirdest stuff. Yeah, that's where they got it. That was the other Olga film.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay, so then there was this thing too.
Oh, wow.
What the hell is this?
The Olga Film Festival.
But these aren't.
Yeah. There you go.
These aren't Olga films. They're just movies.
Yeah, these are Olga films retitled.
Yeah.
Because you'll see it could. The second one could be Olga's House of Shame. The first one is probably White Slaves of Chinatown.
I like that these look like pennants, kind of like a kid would have on their wall.
You go to
go Olga pennant. Yeah, go Olga.
Like when she's giving a rally, you go there and hold up those pennants while she's up there orating. Olga for president.
Olga for president. I just want one of these as a bumper sticker for my car. It's like my honor student goes to Olga's Slaves of Bondage.
Olga's House of Pancakes. Tracy put in the chat. Yeah. Olga was something. I mean, they crank these movies out. Yeah, I love
that. Thought of it too. Great minds think alike.
Olga's Garage Apartment.
But anyway, after these roughies in the late 60s, we got tonight's movies in 68. Mm-hmm. So it leads right into what you're going to see, which I guess you would say they have more plot than the usual roughie.
Yeah.
At least Behind Locked Doors does. I mean, you will see how the plot plays out.
Behind Locked Doors.
Behind Locked Doors.
My favorite part of this movie is every time that Lila's about to kill someone, her theme song comes on, and she starts seeing things like old men holding stacks of bananas and fresh fruit, and you're like, oh, it's time to kill people.
She's tripping.
Yeah,
she dropped acid. I mean, that's what happens, right?
Not since an episode of Quincy has acid or Dragnet has acid led to such craziness.
Yeah, and it is craziness, and we might want to mention that the guy who wrote and directed MANTIS in Lace, I looked online. Man, he had a varied and interesting career. He won like a whole bunch of Hugo Awards for fan art.
Oh, really?
And he did a lot of art, and he directed some stuff. His name is William Rossler. But the best thing in his bio is he did the novelizations for Vice Squad and I believe Sinbad's Golden Voyage, one of the Sinbad films.
I really want to read the novelization for Vice Squad. I want to get inside Ramrod's head.
Oh, Ramrod.
One of the other people in here that has a really interesting life story is Pat Barrington, who's one of the dancers in this. She's in Ed Wood's Orgy of the Dead, but she was dating a mass murderer at one point, Melvin Rees. She was working as Vivian Storm at the time in Mob Bone clubs, and he was a jazz musician. And literally, she had no idea that when he would play jazz shows, he was out killing people before he would come back home to her. So Pat Barrington's life, honestly, could have been a movie. She kept dancing until the mid-'90s when she was in her late 50s and just stayed at it. Reminds me of, if you read any of the books of I just saw someone brought it up in the chat. That's what I was going up. John Waters' books, when he would go to Baltimore clubs as a kid. And there's one dancer, Zorro, that was like in her 50s and had like knife marks on her and a mustache. And she would threaten to kill him for being at the shows. And he said, that's why I like going there. It was the element of sin of being around it. This movie will give it to you. I said in my review, they don't, can't, won't, and maybe even shouldn't make movies like this anymore. There really isn't a need. Like after 71, 72, when Deep Throat came out and Beyond the Green Door, like there was no real market for these movies anymore. Like because people wanted to see everything versus like these movies that have like the element of sin, but really, like Bill said, they have stories and like there's actual like things happening. A lot of Ed Wood's movies at this time were similar to these two, where they kind of happen in these places, but they're more about an excuse to get to the horror elements or the murder elements.
Yeah, that was really the evolution. It led to obviously the legalization of hardcore pornography in the United States.
Yeah.
So you didn't really need these for the rubber raincoat crowd.
Yeah.
But we did see
audiences had already been pushed so far that this is just a nudge.
We did see the Ilsa films, either 3 or 4, depending on how you count them. And those came out after these two. And then you had Blood-Sucking Freaks, which came out right around that time, sort of mid-70s. And then I would have to say that genre, whatever you would call it, softcore, heavy violence, whatever, sadism, that kind of died out. And then it came back with the torture porn films, like Hostel. So what goes around comes around in film.
It's so glossy now. It's totally glossy now.
The only movies that are
and legitimized, because you can watch this shit everywhere. It's not like you had to go to a sleazy theater to go see something like this. You know, a lot of that was half the fun, wasn't it? Like like you said, there was a sin element to it.
There's the only other ones that are close to the nudies are the Corman nurse or occupation cycle films. I don't know what the right term from is, but there's like, you know, the young nurses, and then it was always like 3 or 4 girls. They all work in the same office or building, and like they all get involved in like social justice things, but then also, it's like there's a boat race, and I'm in love with a rich boater, or I'm fighting drugs. Like it's always like those movies are insane because like they really wrap a ton of stuff in, but generally the main idea is let's get gorgeous women into swimsuits or less. Well,
Corman had that formula, which is, okay, we're going to have 3 really attractive actresses, 1 white, 1 black, 1 Hispanic.
Yeah.
Almost always. And then we're going to give them interesting, empowering jobs. Either they're candy stripe nurses, night call nurses, student nurses, airline attendants, what have you.
Yeah.
And then they're going to get hooked up with different kinds of guys. But usually all of the guys are scumbags.
Yeah.
And women.
A white guy is generally not a scumbag for the most part.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be trouble. Either they're going to get involved with rebel forces or a drug clinic in the bad neighborhood. And there will be, as Roger Corman described it, full nudity from behind, nudity from the waist up in the front, nothing below the waist. We've got to have some kind of social significance here. So there are, interestingly, discussions about societal issues back in the early 70s. And it runs 80 minutes.
And my wife will produce all of them.
Yes, indeed. But it has to run 80 minutes so that we don't have to spend extra money on the shipping for that extra reel of film.
Yeah.
You better get her in on it. Otherwise, she's going to be pissed that he's doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Make her an accomplice.
They're actually, a couple of them are really good, though. Like, there's about 12 of them, or 15. But actually, there's even more because you can count movies like Star Hops or, like the whole trend of them goes through the 70s to the 80s. And then you get the next, like, phase of this, like, is your not Playboyish, Porky's kind of movies, lemon popsicles, if you will, movies that kind of do that. And then once Fatal Attraction happens, that's another way of doing stuff where you can have your erotic thrillers, which are just giallos with less killing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But also tonight, I want to mention that the director of photography, the cinematographer cinematographer on this movie, Lila, aka MANTIS in Lace, is one Leslie Kovacs. Now, that's the film name of Laszlo Kovacs, the great Hungarian cinematographer who came to the United States with another great cinematographer from Hungary, Vilmos Zsigmond. And this is an early film for him. After he films MANTIS in Lace, he goes on to film Easy Rider, and then he has a Hollywood career. He filmed Ghostbusters. So obviously, you got to start somewhere to pay the rent.
Yeah.
And you'll see that MANTIS in Lace, for apparently being shot on what looks to be 16 millimeter and blown up, it's a good looking movie. I mean, the shots are well composed and the action is blocked nicely. So you'll enjoy this one. And we'll talk in the second segment about Behind Locked Doors. That movie looks equally good. And I see Bill is queuing up ads for us to look at.
This is Vivi, Laura.
Hello, Vivi.
Her name is Vivi. And she wants members of her fan club. She's always canvassing for new members. So sign up online. This is Lila, the original title. And there are two cuts to this film, or am I wrong? There's an X and an R cut.
There's a longer cut, yeah.
I don't know if there was really much X-rated activity. I mean, X-rated activity for the day, maybe.
So yeah, I don't know what the difference is between the two movies would be, but I mean, could it have been hardcore? It couldn't have been hardcore in 68.
No.
I really like that art though.
Oh,
have
that
you
art-
ever
I guess
had
it could have been in
a bedroom vendetta? What even is that?
Yeah.
We had a bedroom vendetta.
Yeah.
She's so pretty.
It says Harry Novak presents in very fine print at the top of this ad.
Alley Tramp.
Yeah. Alley
No,
Tramp.
no relation to Shanty Tramp.
Or the Teenage Tramps.
Yeah.
Oh, look at these.
Weekend Lovers. I like that. He only has a weekend pass, so they got to make it quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weekend Lovers.
The dirty mind of young Sally. And then there's Lila.
I like this one, My Hunger. That's got to be an abbreviated title or
here we go.
something
Yeah.
a little dirtier in its full version.
No one knew where she came from, but everyone knew where she was going. You can almost hear Percy Rodriguez, the old trailer announcer, do that. You know, the guy that did all the Jaws trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Alley Tramp, Paul says, is a Herschel Gordon Lewis film. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, you know who else is in this? I forgot. Stuart Lancaster's in it.
Oh, yeah, in all the Russ Myers movies. He plays a
he's the old
psychiatrist
man
in this
Faster
movie.
Pussycat, yeah.
Yeah, he's in this. Yeah.
So
Now,
these were all the original release in the late 60s, and then at some point it got retitled Mantis in Lace.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be the R-rated version that played around. Here we are. Oh, I love that poster. Look at that.
I know it's hard to choose which one's better, the Psycho Lover.
Yeah. Or she loved them and loved them and loved them to death.
They're really putting a lot of meaning into this by titling it Mantis in Lace.
Well, that's a lyric in the song. People will hear it many, many times.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think they called it Mantis in Lace.
It's an art film. Okay.
Yes, it is. Sort of.
This is more like it. The Ghastly Ones, Mantis in Lace.
Andy Milligan.
Mm-hmm. And Playgirls and the Vampire.
Wow,
I like
really
that
old.
they don't understand the way it's not possessive. Two weirdos.
Yeah. Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
The grammar Nazi in me gets really agitated when I see things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys like Playgirls and the Vampire?
I haven't seen it.
It's interesting. It's like I think that was like the first Italian like modern horror film. I haven't seen it for years. My goodness.
I dig it. I think it's a lot better than you would think it is. I don't know. Like with a title like that, it makes it seem like it was, you know, a really low budget film for titillation, but it's a little better than that.
Oh, it's a lot better than that, I think.
It has great production values. This is in Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow.
It was showing at the Gateway Drive-In in New Ken, which was one of my childhood drive-ins.
Man,
God.
I like that they also say "See Lila" and Mantis in Lace. Like, like what? And so if you complain, like we told you on the poster, you already saw it. We told you that it's the same movie. Also, she doesn't take anybody's heads off and eat them like a real female praying mantis.
Dan,
No,
she does
she
not
doesn't.
transform into
Sorry,
a mantis.
Dan. Like I saw that Dan asked. It's no, she does not transform into a.
I love that there. I guess I never imagined it would be that kind of movie. That sounds like a better movie.
That's the Roger Corman version of this. Is that she turns into like a big
wasp woman, big wasp woman.
It's a sexier wasp woman. Yeah.
Someone needs to give us the poster for Wasp Woman, the original poster.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was?
Mm-mm.
It's like a giant wasp with a human head.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And she's holding on to this dude, and I that's the movie I wanted.
Yeah. This one looks like she's like, I thought she had a microphone for a second. Like she's like very Tina Turner.
It's Janis Joplin.
Yeah. Yeah. To love her was to die.
And to know her was to love her. So to know her was to die.
Secrets will be revealed in the bedroom vendetta. Who gets the cool side of the bed? Who gets the bright pillow? Find out.
Hey, let's do the drink, shall we?
Yeah.
The same pose.
I mean, I think it's about time. I really should do the drink earlier. I don't know why I never get around to it till later. I'm going to fire the producers of this show. I swear to God. Oh, wrong one. Go away, Lila.
That's me.
No, this is you.
That's me.
Show me your pole work, stripper.
Show me your floor work. Show me your moves. Hey, it's praying mantis for Mantis in Lace. I was going to do a grasshopper, but mantises and grasshoppers aren't the same, and I'm sure somebody would get upset about it. So we're going to do this. We're going to go with the Avion Tequila, which is
fancy.
Fancy and new. We got cola. You can use whatever kind you like. I like Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's
That's his go-to.
That's my go-to drink. So we drink all day. We got real lemon, real lime. Let's go 1 teaspoon of this, 1 teaspoon of this.
2 teaspoons of
2
wine.
teaspoons of this. Thank you, baby. And that's what you do. What's this going to taste like? I don't know. I've never mixed tequila and cola before.
Diet cola.
Well,
we'll see.
You're not going to drink tequila anyway. So
I
this
know.
Is a drink for daddy, as they say. This is a daddy drink. All right, here we go. Cubby's like, he sure does. All right, so let's pour these 2 liquids together. Again, 1.5 ounces tequila.
5 ounces of cola.
It's bubbling, and then let's top that.
Our lemon lime mixture.
And shake it up. Here we go. Be careful. Quit shaking. See, because it can get out and it can make a mess, and then you gotta clean it up. Especially if your wife cleaned the whole kitchen yesterday.
I Windexed every single cabinet in here. You would not believe the drink traces that I found.
So there you go. It's a very fizzy little drink here, and this is the praying mantis.
Looks like iced tea.
There. It does look like iced tea. It's got a really nice, wow, it's got a great smell to it. Okay, let's take a sip. Wow, that's really interesting taste. I think you guys are really going to like this one. And I'm not saying that like an influencer. I'm saying that like you're really going to like this one.
Oh, you are an influencer.
An influencer to go spend a lot of money on movies. Who's this?
You are totally an influencer, Sam.
I am.
Very good.
Awesome.
All right.
Oh, good. I drank mine right after I finished the video.
You
I mean,
know,
more of the second drink though. The second drink is
your
dangerous.
demonstration of the drink was a little bit different than the actual recipe, and I was
Yeah.
confused by that. I got scared. I was like, "Oh, I was supposed to have done it the other way," but I didn't actually shake the soda with the other ingredients, so I just sort of have to stir.
Oh, it's okay. It's fine.
It
You'll
can't
get
be
it.
that different, right?
No, it can't be that different.
And it is delicious.
Oh, it's great.
Thank you. It's a very
Folks should-
sophisticated drink for gentlemen coming to an art theater, perhaps to
Right.
see an exotic movie.
And burlesque with a K.
Yeah, burlesque.
It can't be dirty. You spell it with a K.
Yeah, it's burlesque. That's why I like that movie Arena that I watched this week, Bill, because it posits that there's burlesque in space. Like it's literally an entire space station devoted to burlesque. There's boxing, there's a diner, and singers and girls that dance in space somewhere.
Well, that's a great movie because it was written by Bilson and DeMeo, who
Yeah,
did Trancers and Zone Troopers and The Rocketeer. I mean,
yeah,
one of them passed on. I think DeMeo passed on.
Yeah.
But they wrote some of the best screenplays for Empire.
yeah. They said they did. He says on the Blu-ray he didn't get paid for it. Go figure.
Oh,
Any of the Empire stuff.
I don't know if you guys heard. This is totally off topic, but I had to bring it up.
Oh, please do.
Al Jorgensen announced that he's going to go back and right the wrong that was with Sympathy. They're re-recording with Sympathy. And he's going to
Really?
he's going to finally admit that he wrote those fucking songs. And because he likes to say that he didn't write any of them. And then he likes to say that he didn't have anything to do with them, really. It was Clive Davis's wet dream that Ministry would turn into it. Mark Dockham was the one who forwarded me this link today, and I was just stunned, absolutely stunned. But I wish he would just figure out what the hell's going on, because it seems like he changes his story every time he talks about it.
It makes me feel dumb because I listened to that whole album this week while I was walking, like multiple times. So like
I don't know what his problem is. It's really good.
Yeah. I really like it, but
I don't care what he says. It takes a lot to create something like that, to create an album. You have a band, you're going to put this out there. Like, you have to have a large role in what the finished product is.
Yeah.
You've just got to, unless it really is the way you described it, and they just put him in front of a microphone and said, "Sing these songs that we wrote, and we're going to put your name on it." And I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, it's not like he's like Scott Baio or something in the 70s putting in a cash-in out. Like that's the only thing I miss of celebrities, when celebrities would put in cash-in albums like that. Like, here's your John Travolta album.
Here's your Bruce Willis album.
Well,
Bruce Willis.
Bruno got a whole movie. We can talk about that at length.
Here's your David Soul album.
Here's your Heartbeat. What'd you say? She said she would listen to either Rebecca yelled she would listen to either David Soul or Bruce Willis albums, because she is a huge fan of both of those men. David Soul is her dream man.
David Soul's albums are totally groovy.
He's got a good
Fred
song.
has nothing on David Soul.
That Heartbeat song by Don Johnson, the jam too. That's it.
With that video.
Yeah, where he's like a video journalist and in
the war zone, and he takes a little kid and throws him over a wall.
Wouldn't it be amazing if he crosses the street and the Stones are there from the Undercover of the Night video? That they're in the same crazy war zone?
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. I want a David Soul concert.
Oh yeah, Becca said she doesn't care about the Taylor Swift show tonight. She wants a David Soul concert. It'll just be her and like her mom and some other older ladies.
My babysitter loved David Soul, because she had all of his albums. That's how I know them.
Yeah.
Don't
She
give
would bring
up
him
on
over
me,
and listen.
baby.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't give up on me, baby.
Yeah. I know we can still come through.
That's going to be the next. That should be the third segment of what's your favorite celebrity album like that.
Oh boy, how about the Shatner album?
Oh, the Transformed Man or the later ones? Because I love them all.
I love them all too. Anyone.
Yeah. There's some wild songs on those, and Nimoy too had his album at the same time. Yeah.
This doesn't really count because she did have a legit singing career, but I love Linda Carter's album Portrait.
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
And I remembered this week that Mila Jovanovic had an album out before she was like really into acting, The Divine Comedy, which actually had a couple songs that charted. And I was like, oh man, I've been listening to this Bizarre Albums podcast. I'm continually reminded of artists that put out albums. Bill, the one that was on there is there's a fake album of 50 songs of women called the Fonzettes that are women that are supposedly Fonzie's girlfriends that recorded a whole album.
I hate Happy Days. I fucking hate Happy Days. You brought this up on purpose, didn't you?
I don't like it either. I'm not a fan of Happy Days either. And see, why don't I just make you feel better? I saw Beth brought up Telly Savalas did have an album.
Oh yeah, I have all of Telly Savalas's albums, and that's no joke. I should go get them and bring them out for the third segment.
You should definitely.
Absolutely.
I love Telly Savalas's albums, and he actually covers a Bread song on one of them. He does if you can imagine.
I love it. So I do know. My favorite Telly thing is if you bowl at Arsenal Lanes in Pittsburgh, there's that giant picture, and there's the one section called the Hollywood Bowl Lounge that only has 4 lanes, and it's just all posters of movies about bowling, and then there's a picture of Telly bowling there when he bowled on Celebrity Bowling, and it's autographed, and it says the Arsenal Lanes, "Who loves you, baby?"
Oh, I would freak out about that.
I was really drunk one night just staring at it for like 20 minutes, and I was like, man, I wish I had this.
Well, we can't forget what's that? We can't forget about the actor who had the great album, and that actor would be Mr. Richard Harris.
Oh yeah. Oh, he did MacArthur Park. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he sure did. MacArthur Park. Although Eugene Levy playing on SCTV is much funnier.
Yeah. I like that Richard Harris would get enraged at people in interviews when they would say that Orca was like Jaws, and he would just like freak out on people.
Who Loves You Baby is my favorite album by him, David. It's well worth it.
Yeah.
There's a song called Who Loves You Baby on it.
Oh man.
Yeah, like Steve said, who leaves a cake out in the rain?
Donna Summer did.
Yeah.
Richard Harris did. Hey, we have to mention also that Grindhouse Releasing just released their 2-disc Blu-ray special edition of Impulse, William Griffey's film from 1974, starring William Shatner. A terrifyingly bleak early 70s regional masterpiece, in my opinion. You knew I was going to say that anyway.
I know who your favorite person in that movie is.
Who?
Harold Cicada.
Of course.
Harold Cicada.
He's not in a bikini like he is in Mako, but
I know in Mako he goes all out.
You see most of him on full display, which I'm all in.
Yeah, you can't actually ever type his name unless you say Harold Odd Job Cicada.
Yeah. That's probably on his tombstone. But anyway, go get the Impulse Blu-ray. It's on grindhousereleasing.com. It's on sale. I mean, it's not full price. It's marked down, and there are only 2,000 copies that have been created, and you also get a signed poster by the director when you buy it. So it's not all that expensive. It was like $34, I think, on the sale price. So go get it. It's well worth it. Oh, and how could I forget to mention, you'll also find in the 15 plus hours of bonus materials on that Blu-ray set, you'll find a Groovy Doom ad gallery for it with lots of super rare vintage ad mats for this movie. The one that everybody remembers is the one in the graveyard that tries to make it look like a supernatural film. And, it was a post-Exorcist ad campaign that they came up with it. But this has the old ads that were originally created for it, which are, they're significantly different. And they're I found 3 or 4 different varieties. I was very excited. So go get it. There's my plug.
Bill and I also recorded a podcast this week with Neon Brainiacs, which I think will be out next week or the week after.
2 weeks from now, probably.
Yeah, we can't say what it is, but it's a doozy, and we're very excited. We had a great time talking about this movie, and can't wait for you guys to hear it.
The Brainiacs have been doing that for how many years now and haven't missed a week with a new
6
episode?
years, I think, yeah, or more. Yeah.
They're amazing.
We had the full crew this time too, though. So even Lance was there. She was off and joined us. So we had a good time talking to everybody.
Oh, thank you, David. He looked at my Black Christmas ad gallery on the Scream Factor, the recent Scream Factory 4K. I had some great stuff to work with there. You know, it's always the best whenever the movie has multiple titles, and Black Christmas, of course, does. Which one of my favorite ones is that HBO ad where it's called Stranger in the House.
Yeah.
I don't know why they felt the need to change the title. I guess because people might think it was a Christmas movie. I don't know.
Or they might not think they could watch it all year.
Yeah.
Like Black Christmas is not just for Christmas. You can watch it whenever.
Who cares if it's Christmas?
Yeah. Do they know it's Black Christmas? Isn't that what Live Aid was trying? Isn't that what Bob Geldof was trying to get us to think about? You know what the part I hate about that song is Bono when he goes, "Aren't you glad it could be them instead of you?"
Of course, that's what Bono would say.
Exactly.
Exactly what you would. He probably wrote that line.
Yeah,
right.
He's like,
that probably
"This
wasn't
will get
original.
people- this is ironic, and this will get people right in the heart."
I'm not doing it unless I can say what I think.
Yeah.
Okay, Bono.
I'm taking Helter Skelter back from Manson. How about that, you fuck?
It's a song Charles Manson stole from the Beatles. We're stealing it back.
Yeah.
Oh
He
my
probably
God,
still
he's
has
a fucking genius.
Yeah, he probably still has it. Paul McCartney's like, "You didn't give it back to me. You kept it, asshole."
There's a very Manson-esque episode of the new season of Black Mirror.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's
No, I
really
haven't seen
good.
it either.
Much better than last season.
Hmm.
But they do Manson. They do some weird stuff. The first one is really funny, and then it just sort of gets more and more depressing till it's done.
I love this musical thing we've got going tonight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people bringing up songs in the chat. This is going to be great for the third segment.
We actually
Oh,
played
yeah.
Strangers in the Night for Cubby today because he got his hair done.
Andy, you're ready for your close-up?
Andy is ready for his close-up. Yes.
Uh-oh.
Cubby's new thing is when you give Cubby a bath, when you hair dry him, you have to play music for him. Like he's at the spa. We sit and we comb him and we play 50 standards for him. So he got to hear Witchcraft today and Strangers in the Night.
Does it really affect him?
He loves it. He really just chills out and just really enjoys it.
Vivi's going to the beauty shop on Monday.
Oh, is she? Tell him
Yeah.
not to shave her down too much like last time.
I am going to have a long talk before I leave her there. I'm going to tell her, do not cut all her hair off.
Give them the music that she requests, like Nat King Cole or whatever she'd like to hear.
Oh, she's so chill. She is such a good girl. You can do anything. She lets me, you know how like dogs get eye boogers here?
Yeah.
Like she lets me comb those out of her hair, like with the comb right by her eyes. She's so good.
I had
She
to give
stands still.
Cubby lost it. He went and got his teeth cleaned and he lost a couple for the cleaning. But before that, I had to give him a pill. Let me tell you, there's nothing like trying to put a pill in the mouth of a dog who is foaming at the mouth and ready to kill you. It was rough. Yeah, he forgot I was his dad. And he suddenly was like, "You are the enemy."
You don't have those little pill pockets to give him?
They don't work for him. He's like, "I know what's inside there, you son of a bitch." Yeah, I
Yeah.
can give a steak with a pill. So finally, we have to get a mortar and pestle out, grind it down, put it in a syringe, and you have to squirt it in his mouth. And I get to be the one that holds him with his. It's like reanimator. His mouth is like right next to my neck, ready to take a bite out. And he's like, and you got to like slowly get it in there. Yeah, lots of fun. It's easy to get a dog. It'll be fun. That's my Bruce Willis. Go to the coast.
Yeah. Have
All
some
right, so
drinks, have some laughs.
That's some laughs. Get a dog.
any final thoughts on Mantis in Lace, aka Lila, before we go into it?
I already told my wife when she yells at me about this movie that it's AC's fault. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to give the disclaimer when we started that if you find one or both of the movies offensive tonight, it's all on me.
Yeah.
It's my choices here, so you can vote to never have me back on the island.
I don't think we have any prudes that watch this program, so I think it'll be all right. There are
It's a
boobs
fairly
in these movies.
yeah, it's a fairly short movie. I think it's like 75 minutes. So
Yeah.
we'll be
It doesn't
back.
ask too much of your life.
And it doesn't ask too much of your intelligence or attention span either.
If you like watermelon or bananas, this will upset you. Because she hates both.
Yes, she does. Poor Lila.
Poor Lila. This
But
drink
both
should
of-
have watermelon and bananas in it. What was I thinking? Oh, well, whatever.
Both of these movies really do have a lowbrow appeal to them, which is a lot of what we do on this program, and a lot of the things that this is the kind of stuff I would rather watch.
Yeah.
I don't care about the fucking Marvel movies, and I don't care about Lord of the Rings does anyone even talk about that anymore? Like this is just the stuff that I'm obsessed with.
Yeah. Well, when you see Mantis in Lace, you'll see how psychedelic it is and how it's a time capsule of late 60s go-go dancing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, third segment, I will have two new movies to give away, multiple copies. So if you're thinking, should I watch the third segment? Yes, you should. And
Yes, you
you
should.
should also bring your favorite, unless you live in Canada, then hey, buddy, go to bed, okay? Sorry. You can still win if you pay for them. It's like $95 American to send you a movie.
Yeah.
You could probably buy it at the maple syrup store for the same. I don't know what the stores are in Canada. Anyway,
The link is on Groovy Doom, Daryl. If you were asking about the movie, and I posted it. I was so on it with this program. If anything goes wrong, I'm going to be really upset because I thought I had all the boxes ticked before I went live, and I did put the link on Groovy Doom.
you did, because I grabbed it and I have
Okay.
it ready to play here. Also, the third segment, bring your favorite celebrity album. When you come back from this segment,
Yes.
mental report of how did this movie make you feel?
And it's AC's fault.
Yeah.
Yes, it will be.
Yeah.
It will be. Is Nora in the chat tonight? I think she is.
Yeah.
Oh, Nora,
Well-
you're going to hate it.
From the people who brought you the child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you still watch it though, Nora. Even though I know you're not going to like it, but I'm anxious to hear your scathing comments.
Oh, how
In the
many
second
first timers do we have tonight?
Yeah.
We usually try to ask that.
Also on the second segment, we're going to have Danger Dave from the Stolen Stitches has a startling stunt, another of his startling stunts for us for the timer, the lead-in timer. So make sure you tune in early on the second one.
Tracy has not seen this before, so that's
Ooh, wonder who else? Lee?
Lee. Wow.
Lee
Mark?
will probably like it, I predict.
Daryl says he's 43rd timer here.
Daryl,
Daryl.
we knew
First
you'd
time.
seen this a million
I know
times.
Mark
Yeah.
has seen behind locked doors.
Tim?
Andy's first time. Mandy,
Mandy?
put the kids to bed though. Don't let
Oh,
them.
this
hi,
is
Mandy.
good.
Thanks to everyone who joined us tonight, by the way. We've got well over 30 viewers, and it's exciting that you all want to come and hang out with us on Saturday nights and watch these crazy movies.
Definitely.
You keep us coming back.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, so we got some juicy Lila Mantis in Lace virgins to sacrifice on this
wow.
first
This
segment.
is great. This is like as many people who are first timers as the time I was on and we had the plant film,
Oh,
Purely in Witness, because nobody had seen that. So
but I
At least-
have been doing research into the CBS late night movie, and it did play the CBS late night movie, which is mind blowing that was on.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it had to have been edited.
Do you want to know the ridiculous challenge that I've set myself up for, Bill?
What's that?
I am making a letterbox list of every movie that played the CBS late night movie. So it's literally entering them all in by hand. So I am up to 1978 right now.
I believe it was the CBS late movie.
Yeah. Well, wait.
You always say late night movie. You even did that like for the for the Drive-In Asylum. It's just the Drive-In Asylum late movie. But you always say late night movie.
Late night spelled NITE makes me happy. So let me
You can say late night movie.
It's late movie. I'm sure I was right on the actual thing, but yes.
You know, the CBS late movie was like better than going to film school, as a friend of mine says. I mean, you saw so many different films, so many amazing films. Plus, since you have the list online of what movies played on what night, I can go back in time and see myself watching that movie, even though it was 40 years ago.
It's crazy because a lot of the movies only repeated maybe once or twice over 72 to 90. So like, there's literally thousands of movies. I will probably, as I finish, I'm going to be like one of those monks that's like doing the Bibles, you know, like, and as I finish this list, I'll die. But I'm doing it. I'm going to get it done.
Lee, there's actually 37 viewers right now because a lot of people watch on YouTube, and a lot of the YouTube viewers don't comment. So hello out there to you if you're a lurker. We love you. Even though you're not commenting in the chat, that probably means you're watching on a TV somewhere. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
You know, you stream it to the TV, you can't comment. So,
and if you're like, he's talking to me, Bill is talking just to you through the TV, like an evangelist.
Ooh, like Dr. Gene Scott, remember him?
Yes.
He had the cowboy hat, necklace, and all he would do is smoke that cigar and just complain.
So we hope you will come back on the second segment. We'll have Danger Dave from the Stolen Stitches doing our lead-in. Spoiler alert, it involves a handsaw, an electric handsaw that comes disturbingly close to his face.
Boy, so, don't hold back, Bill. I'm terrified already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. My sack kind of shriveled the first time I watched it, but I'm sure everybody will get as much of a thrill out of it as I did. And there's also lots of great stuff on the second segment. We've got lots to say about Mantis in Lace, and we're going to introduce our second movie of the night. Also, we can't go without teasing our movie next week. Next week's going to be a late movie. So it's just one film. It's at 11 p.m.
It's a late.
It's the late night movie. And it is one of my favorite films of all time. And I think Sam feels the same way.
I may have seen this movie more than any other movie. I at least watched this movie 3 times a week as a kid.
Yeah.
So.
A perennial HBO film, the kind of film that whenever it was on HBO, you watched it every single time it was on because you just couldn't believe that it existed. At least that's how I felt. So
you mean like Morgan Stewart's Coming Home, which was on every day.
You spoiled it now, Chris.
Yeah.
AC.
The new director of the show, we're only showing romantic comedies and coming of age.
Right.
We hope that everybody comes along with it.
Well, tonight we're in the lane, though. We're not in the romantic comedy lane at all here, unless you think Lila's hijinks are romantic comedy.
I'm not saying anything other than it is definitely not Chud.
No.
I'm not a big fan of Chud. It's okay, but you know. So anyway, make sure you come back after the movie. The link to Mantis in Lace is on Groovy Doom, and hopefully you have it queued up and ready to go. If you do, you can start it at the end of this countdown, and we'll all be in the back place. Afterwards, wait about 5 minutes and go live again for everyone to catch up, and we'll see you then.
Enjoy the movie.